Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the day that the Lord hath made, and we're choosing to rejoice and choosing to be glad in it. It is a Thursday edition of the Faith Room. I am claiming a stress-free Thursday. I'm claiming a drama-free Thursday. And I'm also claiming a mess-free Thursday. I'm putting it out there. Drama free, mess free. Come on, y'all. And stress free. Come on in here, everybody. Good morning to you. We are the Faith Room, and we're excited about another day that we can help you grow in your faith and in your walk with God. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to greet each other as we do every single morning. Say good morning as you're doing now. Pearl, Julie, Kamal, that's it. Antoinette, Carlock, Lady Rose, Shonda. See how y'all good morning. And then we declare our day. And after you declare your day, you tag and you share. That's how we do it every morning. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and begin to tag some people in because I've already greeted you and I've already declared my day. Now it's your turn. What's up, Christy? My little sis, and Siobhan. What's up, Deborah Johnson? Good to see you this morning. Come on in, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We have Sister Anita Fisher with us this morning, who will be sharing with us, mental health consultant, and we're excited about what she's going to bring to the room today. It's a take God at his word Thursday. I like that. I like that, Christy. Take God at his word Thursday. Come on in, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Our co-host will be in shortly, and she's going to be with us in a minute. So we thank God for everybody coming in. Carla McBride, God bless you. Sherry Hall, good morning. Good morning. Come on in, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go to work. Let's go to work this morning. Good to see you. Wawa, Big D in the building. Stephanie Long in the building. Y'all, I'm tagging away. Y'all help me out here. I am tagging away this morning. Good morning. Tamika Moore is in the room. Good morning, y'all. Janice Carter, good morning to you. How are you? All right, come on, come on. I am tagging away. You do the same thing on your end, okay? Good morning to you. All right, it's going to be a great day, y'all. Roxy, good morning. It's going to be a great day. No drama, no mess, no stress. Sheila Gray, good morning. Good morning. Come on in, everybody. Good morning. Kim Fife is in the room. Good morning to you. Paula Todd, take nothing negative Thursday. Paula, I like that. I like it. Don't take nothing negative. As they say, take it with a grain of salt. Come on. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't put too much thought into it. Jennifer Corbin, good morning, Jen. Sandra Douglas, good morning. Ann Robertson, good morning. Mother Doris Sanders, good morning. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all get your water. Y'all, my goal today, Pastor Nate's goal is to knock this gallon out today. Y'all think I could do it? I believe it. Where you at, Pearl? Uh-oh. It must be a sign. I done broke the top. Tori, what's going on, T? Good to see you. There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. Tamia, what's up? No, not one. Watch my mouth and practice patience Thursday. Come on, girl. That's a post-Bible study word there. Yeah. Jesus knows. Boy, that's a good hymn. That all about our struggle. Man, that song there. He will guide. Yeah, Pearl, water. Uh-huh. This right here. Cherie, I'm going to get Cherie on this water today, too. Let me see what she's drinking on today. I'm gonna see if Cherie will put her coffee down and drink some water with me. I broke my top. That must be a sign, y'all, that I need to wait until tomorrow to start this. But 1 gallon, that's the goal. I got it. And we're gonna see. We'll see. All right. I believe you can drink it all on this thirsty. Oh, Antoinette, you're so kind. Thirsty Thursday. Ruby Barnes, what's going on? Y'all help me get some folk in here now. Let's go. Angetoria, good morning to you. I'm tagging away here. Jamal in the building. What's up, Jay? Katina, tell him all about it Thursday. Come on, y'all on that song this morning. And if you can't sing it, just hum it. Verna Gant, minister. Norma Wiley in the building. Latoya Glover in the building. Latoya, what's the weather like in Florida today? What y'all looking like? Hi, co-host. How are you? I can't hear you.
I'm fine. Here's one thing about me. You ain't got to worry about me drinking water. I drink water, so I don't need to be in no challenge.
I ain't in no water challenge. That was 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm going to try to get her to put, don't challenge me to put nothing down. I drink water. So anyway, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
I'm not with you in Pearl. We are not the same.
Good morning.
I said that already.
Happy Thursday.
Well, you can have that. It's a happy one.
How was your day?
Feelings in the air.
How was your night? Did you rest well?
I did.
Good deal. Yolanda, what's going on? Thank you in advance Thursday. I like that.
All right. Tell her thank you. Tell him thank you.
Ann Robinson said, my goodness.
Mine too.
Y'all listen. Some people that's who they've been like that since they came out the womb.
No, I heard you. I'm
it wasn't a challenge.
See if I can get her to drink some water. I drink water.
Cherie drinks water. My doggone top. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm not in the water challenge.
Good, neither.
Corinthia say I'm screaming. As long as you ain't at work, Corinthia screaming. Did you just toast me?
I did.
Just gave me a toast.
Top of the morning to you, bro.
Definitely gonna hate Thursday. Oh. Come on. Alentriana?
Is this enough? Is this the same Alentriana?
I think so.
I don't remember. What's her last name? Hughes? I had child. I don't know. Alentriana, are you the same person?
Donnell saying
I'm Alentriana.
That's a good question. All right, y'all, come on in here. We're going to get started. Tony Johnson, LaTanya Hill, good morning. Yes, it's me, she said.
Did something change or I'm tripping?
You tripping.
Both are possible.
Both are very possible.
Both are possible.
One in a possible. Yes, ma'am. We got one in a possible.
Okay, I don't do the space thing, so I don't really get it.
It's all good. You took a baby sip. No, I'm coming with it. Don't worry about it.
You know how to get your water down? Now, this works for me.
How you doing?
Every time I drink, I got 10 gulps each time.
10 gulps.
Every time you drink water, do 10 gulps.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I received that.
Donnell, I'm doing it now. I just got it.
No, they talking about how you came in here swinging.
I'm listening. Y'all think I'm not on yet. I'll just be backstage. I can hear everything he says. And I can see him if I'm sitting right here. But I just came in with the answer.
Listen. I have never been a coffee drinker. I guess because I don't even do caffeine. So when people say you had your coffee, decaf don't count because decaf don't
Well,
wake you.
so like this morning when I woke up at home, I had decaf. I think I was addicted to the taste.
Yeah.
Because even caffeinated coffee, you know how people drink it to stay up, and that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I think I do it for the taste. I do that
Yeah, that's why I
hazelnut,
drink it for the taste.
that hazelnut or that vanilla, French vanilla.
So yeah, I bought some of those from my office.
Okay, yeah, I do those.
But like, so if I need to stay awake, now I'll go to like Starbucks and get an espresso shots.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps you, kind of gets you awake.
And get that blood pressure awake too.
Child.
Watch that pressure. Now I gotta ask this, Cherie, to the room, because maybe somebody is a relative. Let me ask this, since we real people, we can ask whatever we want to ask. Y'all, what's going on with Jamie Foxx? I was asking Cherie yesterday. We don't know what's going on. I know he was trending.
I think that's intentional.
It's
I have to say, I have to commend whoever is in charge of his
PR.
Yeah, they own it.
Somebody said
nobody sliding in, nobody leaking no information.
Right. We know about the potential brain aneurysm, stroke, but they were talking yesterday like he was dying. Like people will kill you.
They will. So the fact that
it was trending yesterday. Man, yeah. Ain't no privacy. They trying to. So if you don't know, you'll make it up.
You'll make up something, and because people want to know, they'll believe it, and they'll start sharing it.
Keep him lifted in prayer.
That's all. I just pray for him today. If whatever it is, God, you can do it. You can turn it. So I don't know what it is. There's so much going on.
Child, say that again.
So much.
I was thinking about that yesterday, Cherie. It's a lot happening right now. It's a lot happening right. So listen, if our hand is not in God's hand, if he ain't leading the way, the captain of our ships, shoot.
I don't know how you're doing it.
Man, it's a lot happening out here in these streets. All right. So listen, y'all, we're going to ask this question, then we're going to get the question of the day. Any first timers, will you please type in the number 1 if you're here for the first time, never been in the faith room before, and then let us know where you're watching from. Here for the first time, never been in the faith room, please let us know right now where you're watching from. Let us know.
Right quick while you ask that.
Texas is doing the most. What happened in Texas?
Another shooting or something? Or
Lady Rose, they're doing the most. Lord help today. I know that was a shooting last week.
Yeah, in Allen.
Yeah.
But they're is it their governor? They say he's just making it more and more easy to get guns and stuff. I don't know the mindset of people. They value the dollar bill over a life.
And you can go get an assault rifle, Cherie.
Why do you need that?
An assault rifle. I know they were we got notices out here where Carter go to school that there was a threat. Someone was threatening.
Monday.
Yeah, and but they actually, we were told that these happen every day, that there is some type of threat to some school.
But here's the thing, we can't take it lightly because you don't know when it's real.
Well, clearly this was legitimate because they went to the person's home and
they had actually planned to do it.
Yep.
Wow. My. Thank
Again,
God.
not Carter school, but a surrounding school.
Oh, okay.
Well, it wasn't his actual school, but word got around, so they send you emails to every school in the area.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wow.
So these people at the mall in Texas just shopping at an outlet mall.
What they do?
Gone.
So what was it like? An officer was there. He was on another call or something. They said, but he just happened to be there when it happened.
Got him. Yep. Got him.
Elizabeth, where are you? A shooting on a little league baseball field during the game.
This is crazy.
Yep.
Y'all be careful out here. Be prayerful.
Yeah. Because we don't want you to live in fear.
Absolutely. We're not going to do that.
I'm not. We're
going to enjoy life. I'm going to always aggravate Cherie as long as she wake up in the morning. The only way she ain't going to get aggravated by Pastor Nate or Nate.
If he ain't on here.
If he ain't on here. Yeah.
But you just, as long as you know what comes with it.
San Diego. Somebody said the shooting in San Diego.
Oh, the baseball field.
Every other hour, it seemed like.
The shooting was in San Marcos.
Wow. Jesus.
Z, right. Already. He runs low.
Runner lows.
You.
Z, there wouldn't be no fun. Somebody text me one day, Cherie, somebody text me one day, will you and Cherie argue one time? I was like, y'all shut up. Y'all ain't paying us.
Wanted us to argue?
Yes. These arguments don't be.
It's a show, yeah. It's a show. I guess we provide a comedy.
Yeah, I don't be trying to cause no problems with you.
I don't be trying either.
Kamani Love, where you been? Kamani got a job, Cherie. She been making that money.
That's it.
Money. Who's saying that, Jukebox?
The OJs.
Come on here. See? Look at you.
Almighty dollar.
For Chick-fil-A lunch today on me. Okay?
What?
I'm finna do a game with you. 3, name that artist.
Oh, God.
Co-host will go to Chick-fil-A today. She's at the office. She'll go today or go to that Burger King.
Please let me know the answer.
All right. First song. I need to know the group or the artist. And if I ever fall in love again.
Is that Shy?
All right. Good job.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm just proud of you for singing a complete thought.
This may be a little. How do I live without you? I want to know. Got to go country. How do I live without you?
I don't know. It escapes my mind. I don't know.
Leanne Rhymes.
Yeah, not a fan. All right.
Here we go.
Can I? Okay, I was gonna say, can I use a lifeline? Somebody in the see, she said Shania Twain.
It ain't Shania Twain, bro. No. Okay, last one.
It's too many people.
She missed that one, so we'll see. All right, Chick-fil-A. All right, they laughing at you, Cherie. Chick-fil-A. Oh, let me go. Lou, this one I'm gonna do. This one.
I don't know no country song.
No, I ain't gonna do country no more. You know, the seminary I went to was white, so if they gave me a ride to lunch, child, if I wanted a ride, I'm gonna get in that car.
No complaining. No complaining.
Are you ready? Here we go.
Yes.
Let me see. Here we go. Cherie knows so many songs, y'all. I don't want to make it easy for her. I don't want to make it easy for her. Let me see here. Let's go with this one. Let me see if she know this one.
Do you know it? What are you looking for?
Okay, here we go. Tell me it's real. The feeling that we feel. Tell me that it's real. Don't put it in either, y'all. Don't let love giant.
Oh my God.
For lunch, here we go. 5, 4. Don't put it in. This ain't faith room money we spending. This mine. 3.
I can't think of the artist. Oh my God, wait.
Don't put it in, y'all. You give up?
Is it Jodeci or Casey and JoJo?
AC and JoJo. Y'all cheating.
Y'all text me.
Here we go.
Somebody said Drew Hill.
Here we go. Last one.
Yeah, I was singing it. I just couldn't remember. The voices were familiar in my head, but I couldn't. Child.
One more, y'all.
Who got my number? Text and answer to me.
Let me go with this one. Let me be your angel.
Oh, why are you going back? Let me.
Come on. Let me be the one.
Stacey Lattisaw.
Is that it? There you go.
You went way. That's like the 80s.
These are the days of our life.
Pause. Gold. What was that name? This said I cheated. Oh, how? Where?
Go. Keep moving. Keep scrolling.
Okay. All right. Come on. Don't come for me. I won't come for you. Ain't nobody
Here we
cheating.
go. Y'all want to argument? Here we go. Oh, man. Good job, Cherie. I'm going to still hook you up with lunch today. Just because.
It's over?
Oh, you won't? Okay, here's one more. This is the question of the day because I'm finna bring in the person.
Oh, okay. So do you want the music?
Yeah, get the music. Then
or is this question for me?
Yeah, this question. You doing the question. We mixing it up today. This is for you. Play the music.
I wasn't ready. Hold on.
Oh, this is a good one too. Oh my goodness.
But I already won. I'm already getting lunch though.
Yo, you got it. You won the lunch.
It's a bonus round.
Bonus.
What I get?
You know what I'm gonna do? You can get a large Coke Zero. Just for you.
Okay.
Just cause you my dog.
Yo, Faith Room. What's
go.
poppin', man? Faith Room.
Get your water. Let's go.
It's time for the question of the day. Faith Room, stand it up. It's time for the question of the day. You here with Pastor Nita and Pastor Sharia. They here to give you what you need to be free. This is the place with real people and real problems and real questions.
Come on.
Come on, y'all.
Do that, Cherie.
It's time for the question of the day. Stand up. It's time for the question of the day.
Here we go. Question of the day, co-host edition. Cherie, if you had a choice of 3 men you could date, who you could spend a date with, a date for the day.
Just one day.
One date, top 3 men. And so if one canceled, this would be 2. And if 2 couldn't go, you would do 3. If you could pick 3 men, famous, not famous, who you could go out with, wine and dine, and maybe after the date, just hang out. You know, who would you co-host? Not Pastor Cherie. Cherie. Let me hear it.
So we have to take away the fact that they see this ain't right because like my crushes are married. I think Idris Elba is married, right?
Who?
Idris. Ain't he married?
I don't know.
I know Denzel is married.
Just pick. Married, unmarried, pick.
I did too. Let me think of a third one. They're saying it's a setup. Don't answer.
It's not.
They answering. They don't know you talking to me.
Go ahead.
Listening
This
skills.
is hilarious, man.
I don't know the third one.
We got Denzel,
Idris.
Beatrice. Who else?
Beatrice. Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
This fool said Beatrice. I
Beatrice.
can't think of a third one. I can't think right now because you asked me. I can't think.
3.
I gotta have a third one.
Yeah, you got to.
Okay, Morris Chestnut. Morris. That's good. Morris Chestnut.
Those will be the 3. Okay, good deal.
In no uncertain order. Just 3.
Somebody say, ask me.
Why?
They be what? I guess they got a list. You know. But anyway,
so
Richard,
if y'all know anybody that look like any of those people, similar.
You funny girl. Oh my goodness. Y'all listen, it is I'll be liking this part because we don't get to laugh, Cherie, a lot.
Shit, Elizabeth said, and they all married. See, I can't win for Luke. Tay Diggs don't want me, child. I'm too melanated.
Would you date outside of your race?
I probably not.
Okay.
No, I'm not nothing against other races. I just
No, I know. I mean, it's becoming normal now, though.
Oh, that's been normal.
Fellas, y'all give me your one. Give me one. I'll get one from the room. Fellas, give me your one woman you would want to hang out with and date. Fellas.
Tamika, holler at me after the show.
She know somebody?
He live in Florida, though. We can talk on the phone.
Flights work. You like Spirit Airline and Frontier?
I don't.
You just got to bring your charger. That's all.
And a comfortable seat. Tracy said, I took all her 3. Great minds think alike, sweet tea.
Fellas, what y'all talk about? Somebody said Blair Underwood.
I ain't seen him lately, but he was a pick back in the day. Terry Lanton, a young Pam Grier.
Come on, Terry.
Okay. She was, I haven't seen some of these people in a while. She was very, very pretty. Corinthia, you can't tell them what they can't say.
Don't say Halle Berry.
Don't say Halle Berry.
Come on now, Corinthia. They can pick who they want.
It's for many. She's very pretty. I can remember back in the back in the day, like when I was a teenager, young adult, like her haircut was so fine. I went and got that haircut. Okay, said Blair is a woman beater for real, Lord Jesus.
The fellas quiet. See?
They married. Everybody in here married, I guess.
I understand. All right.
The horn was a fly. So it's the ladies answering for the men.
The men quiet. They ain't heard a peep. I heard from Terry Lanton. That's the only one I heard from.
Go Lanier. G Renee Carla. It's good.
Fellas, it's just a game, bruh.
Baby, it was like you ain't finna get me caught up in those.
Bruh.
You tell us yours. We already know yours.
I would say Serena Williams.
Okay. I thought you was gonna go back to what's that girl name?
No, she got too many problems. Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Lorks.
Voorhees or somebody.
You know who else I would want to hang out with?
Who?
She older though.
It's all right.
Yeah.
What's wrong with older women?
Nothing. I mean, nothing.
Now, David, and he questioning yours, but David, you ain't gave no answer.
David Dredden, you just answer, bro.
Hang out with. That's all. Just hang out with. He said he missed the question. Say it again.
Hang out, y'all. And if it was a guy, I would want to hang out with Bishop T.D. Jakes for the day.
Okay.
Nate, get ready, get ready. Something about to happen in San Diego. Get ready, get ready. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, it's 30 minutes in. We have a guest backstage, probably wondering, like, what in the world is happening here?
Nuh-uh. Richard Miller, all of y'all stay quiet. Don't come here talking about Nate. Y'all
there
be
you
quiet.
go, Nia. Nia Long. Thank you, David. We ain't going to hell. It's just a game. Thank you. Thank you, David Dredden. Nia Long. Who's the older woman? Ashley, with your nose itself. Ashley won't let me forget.
It's a first timer. Go ahead. I'm gonna find it.
I'm almost embarrassed to say.
Is she busted and disgusted? I mean, why are you embarrassed?
Yeah. I let me think, because I don't want nobody.
What? Is something wrong with the woman?
No, I just don't want to start no problem with nobody picking on my taste for, older.
Well, I got you today because they ain't nobody picking on nobody because they didn't say nothing.
You holding it down.
I got you today.
The fellas ain't saying a Richard Miller ain't said a word.
I mean to talk about you.
Tony Johnson ain't said a word.
Well, friends will leave you hanging. You see that today. We got a first timer from Chicago.
What's up, Tyrone?
Breckenridge.
What's up, Ty?
Now, welcome our first timer. Chicago in the building.
Richard Miller, something. He said, I can't think of nobody. Man, come on.
Reed said they married, they can't. Oh, she asking. Just because they married, they can't say they have a celebrity crush. Well, I don't know who they live with.
Y'all, it's just a game. All right, let's go.
All right.
I'll tell y'all mine at the end of the show.
You're not. You're going to forget.
So y'all can keep watching. Welcome. Y'all listen, I'm happy to have with us another phenomenal person, just a phenomenal person. Yes. If I could pick an auntie, Cherie, if they say, go pick your auntie out, I would pick Anita Fisher.
Really?
She'd just be, because she nice, she can cook. Oh my God, she can cook.
Okay.
She's funny, and she got that gangster lean if you push her.
The perfect auntie.
Auntie. Bring her in here. Bring my auntie Anita in here, who happened to be my partner at the church as well. Miss Anita Fisher, y'all, is in the room.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
Miss Anita, I'm sorry about all the shenanigans backstage. I know.
Oh,
Miss Anita, if you could pick one guy to date, one for a day, who would you want to date?
Oh, come on. Let's see.
Come on, auntie. I done put you out there now.
Richard Miller said he did pick somebody. He said Sinai Latham.
Okay, Rich.
Yeah.
Who you kicking it with, Miss Anita?
Oh, shoot. Wait, see, I can't think of his name. He was on the a show I used to watch. He's kind of younger.
Come on here.
But I can't think of his name. Okay. We just move on.
What show was it on? We're going to help you. What show?
Oh, shoot. It was one of them Tyler Perry series.
Oh, I know. Because, yes. Oh.
He and his girlfriend, his beautiful wife, I think they just had a baby. Right? Yeah.
If it's the same one, his name starts with an L.
Oh, you talking about
is it
Mr. Brown?
No, wait, let's see. The haves and the have-nots. I think
David Mann.
Oh shit.
No.
David Mann,
That's
no.
what I was talking about.
Lamont Rucker. Is that him? That's what
He's
I'm
good too. Yeah, that would be
Okay.
one too.
That's
Yeah,
my number
I'll
3.
take that one.
Yeah, that's my number 3
Uh-huh.
right there.
Yeah.
Y'all take off these holier than thou hats. We just hanging out. It's a game.
Well, what you talking about?
I'm just talking about people who being deep.
Oh.
You know. But anyway, David Mann.
Deep Saints drown.
She said no.
Man, that's funny.
Right. Y'all, Miss Anita Fisher is a mental health consultant. She has done a lot of work in the area of mental health. Miss Anita, I'm going to let you just kind of tell people a little bit about your background, and then I'm going to let the co-host start some interviews with you. How many live do we have, co-host?
171.
171 live. Y'all keep tagging. But Miss Anita, tell us a little bit about your background, and then we're here for the continued conversation on mental health as we bring awareness this month
Yes.
to the subject matter.
Yes, thank you so much for having me and this topic, having this topic this week. I know you did it last year as well during May, because it's very personal for me as well, as you'll hear as we go through the questions. But I got into this field because of a personal, my oldest son was diagnosed with serious mental illness, and I found an organization that helped our family. And I realized that it wasn't being talked about in the churches. It wasn't being talked about in our community. And I said, well, this is now the assignment that God has given me. I left my career to go and work for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And because I wanted to bring this information, it took me 3 years to find it. And so I still teach classes, facilitate groups. I always say I'm a family strategist. When someone is in crisis, I help the families find resources, and it's just my passion now to serve, with this mental health.
Wow,
Awesome.
that's good.
Yes.
Well, we're happy to have you in the room. Pastor Cherie and I wanted to bring the best of the people we're connected to share. And so we're happy to have you. So I'm gonna let the co-hosts shoot the questions. If you have any questions in the comments for Miss Anita, please type them in. And if we're able to get them, we certainly will. We have a couple of questions from yesterday. At the end, we'll get those questions, and we'll see if we can bring some resolution.
Do you have those? You got them?
Yeah, I have them, Cherie. Okay. If we can get it at the end. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So again, welcome on behalf of the platform. Nice to make your acquaintance. I'm excited just based on the information that you sent to us in preparation for this episode today. But first, let me ask you this: if you will, I don't know if you have them, but can you provide some kind of data or statistics or something as it relates to mental? Because your background, you're talking about mental illness.
Yes.
Okay. So what's some data or some kind of statistics that we need to know, like that what you think would be helpful for the room?
Yes. Well, first, because we want people to know that they are not alone in this. That's why these numbers are out there. 1 in 5 adults, and that's approximately 47.6 million Americans, experience a mental health condition in a given year. 1 in 6 children and adolescents, and that's about 17.4% in the United States, suffer from emotional and mental health conditions. And 50% begin by age 14 and 75% by age 24. So it is not, even when it started in my own family, I thought it was something rare. And I didn't realize that so many people, but the stigma surrounding mental illness is so big that you just weren't hearing it being talked about, 22 years ago.
Yeah. Because how many of you can remember? Like it goes back, but you said it wasn't talked about, but y'all remember like it was always somebody in the neighborhood like walked around talking to themselves, or you knew they weren't well, but people like, oh, that's just so-and-so, that he crazy. And nobody like
name calling.
That's it. That's as far as it went. Nobody got help. But it was a mental illness. So that's good information to know. So let me ask you this, as simple as you can put it. I know it's kind of a vast answer for this, but what causes mental health problems? Or is mental illness something you're born with, or does it just happen? You know,
That's
what causes this?
Yeah, and absolutely, this is part of the training that I do for NAMI. It's in there, and we even have a video called "You Are Born with It." It is like we don't know that we're predisposed for diabetes or high blood pressure because it's genetic. And there are situational things that can cause a mental health break. And a professional, the counselor that was on yesterday, I think she spoke a little about that. But in a lot of situations, such as in diagnoses we hear about, like schizophrenia, bipolar, many times those are genetic. Someone can point to someone in their family, a grandmother, auntie, or somebody on either of the parents' side that had it. Now, the severity of it, that differs, and one thing I like to say, this definition of mental illness, it's a medical condition. It's not a character flaw, but it's a medical condition
that's good.
that impacts a person's ability to think and feel and relate to others when their symptoms are present. But I also like to say and share that a recovery is possible. So it doesn't mean that it's a lifelong, somebody's going to be locked away in a hospital. Treatment is available. And the people that we may see on the streets, or that, like you said, everyone saw in the neighborhood, if they weren't doing well, probably they were not in treatment. They probably were not on their prescribed medications. But a lot of times people, when they're on their medications, they function just fine. You wouldn't even know that they live with the mental health challenges. And I always say I was blessed to the 10 years that I worked at NAMI San Diego. I worked side by side with hundreds of people that lived successfully, in their mental health recovery. So I've seen every spectrum of it, from the very bad crisis situations to, again, people, married, children, living their lives like anyone else because they were in treatment.
That's so good, Cherie. She said medical condition, not a character flaw.
Yes.
That's just important to hear, because we've heard the opposite. I've heard it all my
They
life.
just crazy. That's how you just leave it like that. Ain't no help for them. But because it's a medical condition, that means there's a medicine or something to help with that. Just like for diabetes, there's a cure, or there's medicine. There are things to help get you back on balance. So yeah, that's good. I agree, Nate. So now, Miss Anita, I know you are certified in the area, an educator and facilitator in the area of mental health, but you have a very up close and personal experience with this mental illness, mental wellness being off balance thing. Can you kind of share with our Faith Room family what your experience was before getting into all of this?
Yes. So my oldest son, and I share this story. He gives me permission to share this story. There's even videos out there on YouTube of him sharing his journey as well. And this is what happens a lot of times that I hear from families, is what happened to us. We didn't see it coming. There was nothing as my son, as a baby, as a child, as a teenager. There were no signs that this was coming. We had no idea. And he had actually gone out into the world, I call it. He was he went into the Army. He was a medical specialist at Walter Reed. And I was like, wow, one down, one to go. We have 2 children and 2 sons. And all of a sudden, we started about 2 years in to see the change. And remember that age range that I said in the data, about the age range is about 16 to 24 when someone symptoms will start to manifest, and that's just what happened with him. And unfortunately, over these 22 years, we've had some kind of journey, because as we see and hear in the paper. And that's why I do a lot of work on the legislative side as well about things to change, because the treatment system doesn't treat it like a lot of other medical conditions. You wouldn't allow someone with cancer to wait till they get to stage 4 in
Correct.
order to treat them.
That's
But with mental health, you usually have to wait until someone is in a crisis. They are a danger to self or others. And that's when they're able to get treatment. And so that's kind of, like I said, the fight that I've had over the years. And unfortunately, that led to my son being homeless. That led to my son being arrested and being, in jail and prison. And that's when I knew I had to get kind of involved in it, because I said, wait a minute, this is not right. And I realized they needed voices, to go and speak to those entities. Just like in a couple of hours, I'll be speaking to our San Diego Police Department. I've been doing that every week, along with a person with lived experience. And we go in there every week to their advanced officer training. So we try to reach all of those places that fail my son, I always say, and others. I'm never doing this just for my son. I'm doing it for anybody impacted by mental health challenges. And again, there is a spectrum. Like I said, there's people who you never know, they're on the lower end of the spectrum in treatment. And then there's those what we call the serious mental illness range. And that is why, that's the population that I always say that I focus on, those that fall in the gaps and with treatment. And there's a lot of other families and people that also, we work side by side in doing that. And Pastor Nate has been a great support. I'll never forget how a couple of years ago, how he invited me to speak this story, right there during service, not after service, not, on a Saturday morning. He let me present this topic right during services. And I've always, and I joined the church too.
That's good though. That's good that you did it in the midst of the service, because many of those people, they may not come back on a Saturday or may not come back on a Wednesday, but those are the people who need the information.
Yes.
Much of the time.
Let me ask this, because I want to, maybe this can help someone who's dealing with someone with mental illness.
Okay.
Because Miss Anita, you dealt with that. But Cherie, I lived that in my life regarding a young lady. Miss Anita, you know this story. When I was in Atlanta, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm telling you for the first time, because it scared me. But this was my first time actually being close to it. That was a young lady after Wednesday night, noonday. I would do noonday Bible study for Dr. Smith back in the day. That was this fair-skinned young woman who would always come. And of course, we had people up front, like armor bearers and stuff, but she would always come and say, good word, good word, good word, good word. And I would just speak to her. God bless you. Thank you for coming. Well, about 3 months after that, one Wednesday night, she came into the service, and I never talked to this young lady in my life other than in that Bible study. She came in, clearly didn't have a bra on. It was very obvious that something was wrong. Beautiful young lady, nothing. In fact, she was preparing was in nursing school. She made a V-line after service to Pastor Smith, and she was just in this look. It was just like she was out of her body. I don't know what it was. And she couldn't get Dr. Smith. Then she made a V-line to me. And in her mind, she was, and it was hundreds of people. Oh, Pastor Nate, she was going in. And in her mind, I was going to marry her. I was going to be with her. And it was all this stuff going on. And come to find out, she bipolar, schizophrenia. She was dealing with a lot of mental illness, a lot of things that were going on. And we got her mom on the phone, and they began to tell us how she had been institutionalized. And they were so apologetic. I mean, the mom was crying on the phone. Please, y'all, don't press charges. We're on our way to pick her up. They came to the church to get her. And I'm sitting there trying to rationalize, y'all. I'm going in. I don't know her. And then we had a therapist who said, look, Pastor Nate, you can't rationalize with a person who's was in a psychotic, is it psychosis? It was something. But anyway, Miss Anita, long story short, we didn't press any charges, didn't do some people were saying we need to get a restraining order. My heart, Dr. Smith's heart, I moved to California, Miss Anita, to be the pastor of Greater Life. I went ahead and told, of course, Z knew about this. The church at House of Hope knew about it, told Z about it, told the staff at Greater Life about it. 2 days after me mentioning what had happened, Trish Ware, I'll never forget, called and said, Pastor Nate, where you at? I said, I'm home unpacking. That girl you was talking about, she's here.
In California?
Wow.
She's where? She's on the step of the church with a suitcase, and you're gonna buy her a yacht, and she's here to get her yacht. So I rushed to the church, Miss Anita, and she's there because she got checks for her illness. So she was able to get plane tickets. So her parents let her be independent. She flew to California. And so I began to talk to her mom and her dad about the illness, and they begged me not to press charge. And of course, we had to take measures. But Miss Anita, that's a real young lady who wasn't a bad person, but in her mind, there was stuff going on. And I wanted to know at that point, how do you deal with people like that? What do you say to somebody who has a child, or maybe they've dealt with somebody who's taken it to that extent as I had to deal with? How do you encourage somebody who's dealing with somebody who's battling mental illness? I'm not saying everybody's situation is to that magnitude, but what would be your wisdom there?
Well, I always say education is key. There are many free trainings out there. One of the ones I do called Family to Family. It's an 8-week course for people who have a person close to them, a loved one. Your family doesn't have to be blood family, someone that they deal with that lives with mental health challenges, because one of the classes is called communication skills. And it does teach you how to communicate with someone who's having delusional thoughts such as that. And the first thing, though, that you would do is that was a very severe case. And, even here in San Diego County, they have programs for people in crisis where you call. They have the psychiatric emergency response team. You call 911 and ask for a PERT team. They're trained. They have a clinician. And there's another one called the Mobile Crisis Response Team that doesn't involve law enforcement. It's just clinicians and peer specialists that will come and try to get that person into treatment. And across the country, because I know people are on this call from all over, they usually call them CIT teams, crisis intervention teams of some kind. But that would be first. But just trying to talk calmly to the person, and then have someone else call for help. But you don't have to buy into their delusions. You don't have to say, oh yes, I believe that, or I see that, or let's go on down and buy that yacht or something. You're just going to say, because it feels real to them. So you just say, wow, that's something that you think that, I was going to buy you a yacht. Let's talk about that a minute. So there's a way that you can communicate with them so that it doesn't escalate the situation until help arrives. And there's a training, just a general training for the public that's called Mental Health 101. And that's offered across the country too, by various organizations. But that's just, basic education for anybody. But the ones that are under NAMI are for, and it's also for individuals who live with mental health challenges, called peer-to-peer. They have a training course helping them to learn how to live with the condition, that they have as well.
That's good.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Look at these comments, Cherie. They eating this information up. People are just.
It's good information. I am just trying to process the story you just gave. And then I saw other people sharing. And I'm almost about to cry because that's somebody's child.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's somebody's child. And there's
as a mother,
do.
that is my greatest. I always say that when my son is in his symptoms, and there's something, another symptom that's part of, I don't know if I remember the clinician mentioning it yesterday. It's called anosognosia. And anosognosia is a symptom where the person does not know that they're in that state. They not only do they have the symptoms of the illness, paranoia, delusional thoughts, and so on, that they also don't know that they're experiencing that. And that is why they often won't go in for treatment. They won't go, and someone can tell them all day long, look at what you're doing, look what happened. They don't even realize all that is going on with them. And so that's another, like I said, a feature. And that's why as a parent, as a mother of someone, my greatest fear, I said, I pray nothing ever happens where my son, hurts another human being or himself. That's my greatest daily, nightly, every day, all day prayer, for him and others, that does not happen. So I was feeling my tears were holding back when he was saying how the mother called, when you were in
like,
Georgia, as well as, when she came here. I know that fear.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. They begged me, and Don said, and that was a question from Gwen McSwain. My daughter has bipolar, and the biggest thing I've learned is the person with illness has to want help. My daughter has manic episodes that last months, and she refuses to get consistent help.
Not uncommon.
Here's a question from Gwen McSwain. Cherie is right below Brittany Evans. My question is, how do you redirect a person if the PERT team cannot help or escort them to a safe place? That's a great question, Gwen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And that happens. Sometimes they don't quite meet that criteria. And there's a couple of other programs in San Diego County. One is called IHOT, In-Home Outreach Team. And that is where they go in, they have a peer specialist that'll work with them. And so they try to engage them into services, kind of build a little relationship with them. It takes a little time. And then they have, as I mentioned, that other mobile crisis response team that doesn't involve law enforcement that can come. But there is some other programs within, that are within this county and probably in other counties and states across the country too, that can help, that are more of what they call peer and family engagement programs when someone doesn't quite meet that crisis criteria, but they're in need of services. And you can always talk to their doctor, whoever they're receiving services from. They may say, because of HIPAA laws, they have not signed a release for you to speak with them. Well, they can take information from you. So you can say, they're really decompensating, they're going down. I need help to get them into treatment. So you can call and speak with their treating, clinician or hospital or wherever they receive their services.
Yeah. Before I read Z's question, Richard Miller said, unfortunately, and Richard served in law enforcement, retired law enforcement. Unfortunately, many times that is when police are called. The sheriff's department is the largest psych hospital in the county. That make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And that's why we continue to work with them on training. That is why there are 2 programs coming. When you saw me with the governor, that was for the care court. And that's coming in October to San Diego County. And that is a new program where they will have a place. If that person is deemed that they need involuntary treatment for a temporary time, people get upset when you say involuntary, but that's only until they can get stabilized. Well, now that's a new law. That's what the governor signed. That's going to start in October. And then there's also something, there are laws called like gravely disabled. Well, what does gravely disabled look like? The person's unable to care for themselves, feed themselves, house themselves. Well, a lot of people on the street, don't they meet that criteria? We see that every day. But why aren't they being then taken into treatment? Well, they just strengthened that law. Well, no, it's going through the legislature now here in California, so that it will be a state law that you're not going to be allowed to let people just, fester in the streets like that when you know they're in need of care. So that's why I said you have to change a lot of laws. A lot of times that's what was stopping this from working. And I agree with the gentleman about the, about the first responders. You think about when my son was first sick, I thought, I called 911 and an ambulance is going to come. I was shocked that it was police. They are the first responders on mental health calls. And so that is what has to change. And then it, immediately criminalizes a mental health crisis for someone. So, and they need to get the care before they get to that point. They don't wake up in a crisis state. It normally takes weeks and months if they've stopped their medication, for instance, for them to get to that state. So we need to get the treatment sooner, than that. And that's one of the, all the things that I'm fighting for, like I said, along with a lot of other families.
Yeah. Here's a question, Miss Anita, and then there's I think the follow-up question from someone here, Tia. How do you support and help convince a person with undiagnosed mental illness to get help, especially if it's not to the point of danger to themselves and others, but they clearly need help? And then Tia Chalia, we'll get her question, Sheree.
Yeah. And that's the toughest thing, that, to convince a person, especially they may have that anosognosia that I described. And there's a great book by the clinician. He is a renowned psychiatrist, and he had a brother that had schizophrenia. His name is Dr. Javier Amador. He has a great book. It's on Amazon. It's called I'm Not Sick, I Don't Need Help. And we use that book. We always, refer families who have this situation to read that book. And he discovered a method in the book that he used with his brother called LEAP, which is listen, empathize, agree, and partner. And so sometimes you have to, it takes time, and it doesn't just happen overnight after you read the book, but you have to, talk to that person about if they're not able to live their life with their hopes and dreams. Say they want to go to college and they're not able to, stay enrolled or whatever. You kind of talk with them about, well, maybe if you go and talk with someone, they can help you figure out why you can't achieve some of your goals in life. So there is a training for that, in a way that you can learn those type of skills. And then sometimes, again, utilizing those programs where they have people that are trained to come, that peer will just go and have coffee with them, or go and shoot a basketball with them, and just kind of develop a relationship. And then they'll say, hey, what is something you want to do? And they say, well, I can't concentrate, but I want to do this or that. And then they will say, well, I know a great person maybe you can talk to. So it takes time sometimes to get people, but there are trainings and things available to help you do that, or working with one of those programs who will come in and try to work with them directly to engage them into treatment. But it's tough. That is still one of the toughest things out there to do, is to convince someone, because it is a voluntary only system. So meaning that they have to go and ask for help. And like I said, you wouldn't do that if someone was laying in your house very ill from anything else, and you call 911, they would bring that bed in there and wheel them out, right? But with mental illness, the person has to ask for help, and that doesn't make sense in a lot of cases. Not saying all of them. Cases they can't make the decision because
they're sick in their mind.
Exactly. So that just, yeah,
Oh,
that's my biggest fight. That I always say. I said there's a point in time when they're not able to make those decisions for themselves.
Wow. Listen, Tia, this is heartbreaking, y'all. It's helpful, but uh, it ought to be something going on in our hearts now that uh, ought to bring a sense of wanting to get knowledge on this stuff to help people. Are there any tips on how to have the conversation with your family and friends about your mental stability and get them to not see you as a Debbie Downer when you're having an episode? And that's what I think, Cherie, is another good question, Miss Anita, because it's not always people just on that extreme of seeing delusions. Mental illness looks like a whole lot of other things that I think some of us deal with daily and don't even know it.
Right.
So can you talk to this question and maybe expand our thoughts on other forms of it, signs that we may be dealing with it?
Yeah. And that's why I said that I was so blessed to work with so many people who live with mental health challenges. And I've heard them share this story, share how they do it. They said, I had to educate the people around me about my condition. Like if you go to NAMI.org, they have these fact sheets. And it'll say, so if you have a particular diagnosis, that fact sheet describes what your symptoms are. And again, sometimes, and again, highlighting that, well, this is a medical condition. You wouldn't, if I wasn't feeling good because I have some other medical condition, you wouldn't tell me, oh, you're just, a Debbie Downer, like, that she put in her comments. They wouldn't do that. They say, oh, what can I get for you? We always say mental illness is the no casserole disease or illness, because, if you're sick with anything else, people bring you soup and casseroles and, we'll bring you food. But when you have you're down with your mental health, people don't do that. They tend to shy away from you and back away from you. Just ask them, what can I do for you? What do you need? And so in that, again, education is key. You can share with them, this is what it feels like for me. And when I'm feeling like that, this is what I need from you. And that's what I've heard people say. They had to tell their families that, that they lived in the house with. And so they start, and it changed things by just sharing with them, what it felt like and then what their needs are.
Wow. That's so good. Cherie, the comments are many, sis, too many to keep up with. Charles Nelson said, I have noticed that there is a lot of elementary age children having what seems to be this uncontrollable rage. Is this a mental issue or mental illness? How should parents respond?
Well, first, let me
add something. Let me add something, because this kind of goes with a question we had yesterday. Is it true that some of the stuff like traumatic or just trauma, can it be passed down from the parent to the child, or the caregiver, who the guardian or whatever, to the child, and then the child is left to deal with it, and then it comes out in uncontrollable rage and all that kind of stuff? Can this stuff be passed down?
There's so many things. This is when I back away and say, I'm not a licensed mental health professional, but I would say to any parent, anybody, go and have a young child assessed. They should be assessed by a mental health professional, and then they can determine all of that. This is why when I started with NAMI, it was just for 18 and above, if you had a loved one or a person. Now they have all kind of children and adolescent programs and trainings for parents. And so they are now addressing it at an early age. They're going into the elementary schools. They're going into the middle schools and high schools. They're doing presentations for with people who they had symptoms as a child and didn't know how to handle it. Now they're living well. So they're going back to talk to children and younger people and say, this is what I was feeling, but I was afraid to tell someone what I was going through. So now with those presentations in the schools and the trainings for teachers, and they're now getting that information out. But yes, I've heard that trauma is a big part of a lot of mental health issues that can come along. And again, that spectrum, it may not be that they all need medication. Maybe it's just a type of counseling to work through that trauma. And you know, something that I want to share too, and I know this was like on yesterday's call, that I had to seek treatment. Me as a Black, quote, superwoman, I didn't think that counseling and stuff was was for us. I really didn't think that in the beginning. But in those early years, I realized it was tearing me down, trying to deal with all that was going on with my son. And the first place that I sought was through my employer's employee assistance plan, because I heard people talking about, what if you don't have health insurance and so on? You can usually go and receive mental health treatment. They will, help you. Just go into different provider agencies, and they will still get you into treatment. And sometimes they do it on a sliding scale. But I know that was the first place that I went for counseling. But let me share this too, is that I still went in with a block, like, oh, now who is this person going to tell me? They don't know what my life been like. They know what to be a Black woman. I had this whole wall up when I went in there. So it didn't quite work well. Several years later, I was on that decline again. And this time I went through my healthcare provider. I went with an open mind. I said, I need help, and when I went, it was the most wonderful experience for me. It's not something I have to continue, but I can go back when I need it. She said, we went for 6 sessions. She gave me things to do and journaling and just different things to help me, self-care, which is something so important for anyone, a person, for all of us. We have to think about our mental wellness and self-care. So she taught me some things to do when I go walk. I go walk by water. That is my thing. And that helps me decompress and step away from things when they're stressful. So counseling is so important. I wanted to piggyback on that from yesterday's call for all of us, for our mental wellness. Like I said, it's a big spectrum. There's those that have a diagnosis that requires maybe medication and treatment. And then there's those of us where it's just life. And we do need to take care of our mental health.
Yeah. 2 more points, Cherie. We still well over 100 people live. So Michelle Williams, I wanted to read her story, and then Antoinette Gant will close with her question. Michelle said, having a child with manic bipolar disorder for over 20 years, I can honestly say that it is very hard on the entire family because of his illness. I am in therapy and taking medication. I have my own mental illness diagnosis, and trying to support him is beyond hard, but God is faithful. He keeps us alive. He busted out our living room window. The police came and wanted me to press charges. I told them, no, take him to the hospital. There was a clinician there and agreed to take him. 3 days he was, and the story stopped there.
Lord Jesus.
And the thing about it, they wanted her to press charges on her own child. So their remedy is
they will say that. I've heard that many times. Or even the person lives in the home and they will have you put a restraining order if they do something like that.
That's not helping the situation.
No, because then they have no one to help them.
Right.
So yes. That's why we have to separate law enforcement out of the mental health provider. I tell them when I go and speak, like today, I say, I would love to put you all out of the mental health business, because I know that's not what you trained to do. And make it, it should be something that doesn't involve law enforcement for these calls like that, like Michelle just described.
Last question, Antoinette Gant, Cherie. Miss Anita, as a mother, what are some tools that you use to take care of yourself while continuing to love your adult child with untreated symptoms?
Right. Like Michelle said about it being a family illness, he's right. We were just a little family of 4 that moved to San Diego from Northern California. And that's, when it started, it was not soon after we moved here. And So it took, again, me educating myself and my husband. He is, I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten through this as well. So he took that family to family class. We took it together. And that helped him to understand so that he could even help me when I wasn't doing well.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, finding those self-care tools, which, like I said, mine is walking near water, stepping away from the situation sometimes, prayer. Okay, of course, I couldn't have got through this without God and prayer, and, having people pray for me and with me, is very important. And then trying to find the resources. And like I said, my son is doing well today. It's been 22 years. We had a rough patch at the end of last year. That was, again, it's still stressful every time, but we had to fight through it, and I had to take those breaks. Sometimes my husband will say, let's just take a drive and go away somewhere. So do those things that make you happy. And I have these things I printed off that I share a lot. If you don't mind me sharing this, Pastor Cherie and Pastor Nate, is called 12 Steps to Self-Care. And I was going to end with this, and I know we're wrapping up now, but it says, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. I didn't make these up. I took them from somebody else. Don't be a people pleaser. Trust your instincts. Never speak bad about yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say yes. Be kind to yourself. Let go of what you can't control. Stay away from drama and negativity and love. And I keep this posted. It's always near me. These 12 steps for self-care.
That's good. That's good.
Um,
This was very enlightening.
Ronald Gant said, my husband suffers from PTSD. He once was hospitalized, and a licensed social worker asked me why hadn't I left him. I'm grateful to work in the field. It has saved me.
Yeah. These are the people who are supposed to be helping.
Yeah,
but it's just so easy to just throw them to the side. But you're not concerned about that person's mental health, their mental wellness, throwing them to the side, locking them up. That's not helping them. Yeah. They're still going to be disturbed.
And I will say this publicly, because I learned this the hard way, because I think most people have, if you're a public speaker, particularly pastors, Miss Anita, I think we got to be very careful with offensive terms. Like, we use the term crazy. I remember preaching one time, and I had mentioned, a point when people don't get points. I said something like, well, I rode the short bus too. And I said that. And that was a family that was touched by that, offended by that, because their child actually has special needs. And I called all of the friends I knew who preached, because I've heard it before. I'm slow too, and no harm, but we have to be very careful, because people are living with children and family members who are actually having to deal with that stuff. So, Miss Anita, would you agree with that? We have to be careful.
Oh my goodness. Yes, part of our trainings is called recovery language. And in that, you don't say, my son is schizophrenic. Your son lives with schizophrenia. I always say my son lives with schizophrenia. You don't say, they're a bipolar. This is my bipolar sister, brother, whatever. No, you just say, this is my sister or brother. And if it happens to be relevant to the conversation, and they happen to live with bipolar disorder. So they're not their illness. And that's what people with they call it people with lived experience with mental illness, and they say, I am not my illness. That's not who I am. I just happen to have that condition. So that's very important, Pastor Nate, that that how our language that we use about, oh, look, there's the crazies over there. And I always call them my people. And I always say, I was in the car with someone that didn't know my background and what I do, and they said something about some people on the car. I said, those are my people. I said, because they just happen to have a condition that's not treated at the moment. but yeah, so that's very important what you said.
Yeah.
Sheree, you can close us out. My head is working right now. This has been, and to have Miss Anita as an outlet, Sheree, is so invaluable, man. And she's working with the governor. She ain't gonna brag on herself, but I want to brag on you for being selected to go to Sacramento to fight for these certain laws. And I applaud you, Anita Fisher, and we love you.
Thank you.
And yeah, Sheree, you could close us out. I'm done.
All right. Again, this was very enlightening. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for sharing it with us. A lot of people are asking about the 12-step self-care things you just gave us. I would say Google it or go back and watch it and write them down. I don't know. She shared that they weren't her words. So a lot of, just Google it. 12, what is it again? 12 steps.
It's called the 12 steps to self-care.
Google it or go back and watch the replay and write them down or type them so that you can have them near you, just like she does. I think those were very good points. It's been a great day, man. And Nate, let me say this to you: give yourself some grace. A lot of times we repeat things that we heard as preachers, whereas in the time when they were saying all that, so the world is ever changing. Mental illness and mental wellness was not a thing. That's why you can say that stuff and get away with it. But the world is different now. So we have to be very careful of the things we say. That our people that came before us said it and got away with. We can't so much.
Absolutely. Sheree, let's sow today. Y'all, tomorrow is Friday. I think our goal is to bring in someone who's living with it and who is overcoming it. And I'm working on a couple people now who are in prayer about coming on to share. Miss Anita is a resource, Greater Life. You're going to hear from her this month because she's at our church. So we're going to bring her before the congregation to bring some awareness once I get with her schedule. The meetup, guys, is coming up. So if you would like to be a blessing to Miss Anita, as we are going to be to Yvette, please sow right now. Miss Anita likes Chick-fil-A. Miss Anita likes Mexican food. Burritos and tacos. I done went with her to eat a taco and burrito. So whatever she wants to do. But let's sow right now. And then tomorrow, guys, Sheree, as we do every Friday, we're sowing into a debt-free conference. Miss Anita, the comments about how you've impacted lives today, for your sake of encouragement, go back and read them because you are helping so many people.
Thank you guys again for having, just for covering this the way that you have this week. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's pray, everybody. And Sheree and I love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you. Sheree, I guess we need to pray for parents dealing with this stuff.
Yes. For individuals and the people who love them.
Yeah, that part. Because when it really got me when you said that young lady's, how her mom called, just please don't call the police. Please don't have her locked up, please. Because it's like I know she has a problem, but I can't do anything about it. But that's my baby, Yeah. It's the mother in me. I think that.
Yes.
And the truth of the matter is this: be very careful because it could be you tomorrow.
Could be your child.
Please be careful, y'all. Putting your mouth on people's kids and family members who's dealing. Please be careful because those tables can turn. God, we love you. Thank you for Miss Anita. God, I cover her not only as a pastor, but just as an advocate for mental health, mental illness, awareness. God, as she is fighting in our state and locally, as she's training, keep her safe, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
I pray against any physical setback in her body. I pray for healing through her body. No sickness, no disease. She is necessary. She is needed, God. I pray for her mind. I pray for her strength. Even when she's coming against opposition, no weapon formed against her will be able to prosper.
Thank you.
I lift her sister up. I lift her husband, Brett Sr.,
Yes, Lord.
payroll, Brett Jr. I pray for her entire family, dear God.
Yes, Lord. Cover.
God, I pray that you would give Miss Anita continued opportunity to share these valuable principles. Thank you for Pastor Cherie.
Yes.
I pray for her mental health. I pray for her son, Rodney. I pray for her day-to-day dealing with trauma, dealing with people, dealing with circumstances, dealing with varying personalities.
Yes, Lord.
I pray for myself, God, as I deal with
Yes, God.
various personalities, various people and spirits, and
Cover, guys.
give me wisdom. Give every pastor, Richard Miller, Tony Johnson, Greg Brown,
Yes, Lord.
Bishop Cousins, those who frequent the room, Bishop Antoine Jackson, Pastor Terry Brooks, all the men of God, women of God, who's holding up the mantle, R.T. Williams, all men of God, Eric Alexander, those men, women, touch us, God, and give us wisdom and knowledge. We love you, God.
Love you, Lord.
Forgive us for our sins in Jesus' name.
Jesus.
Jesus' name.
Y'all have a good day. This is y'all. You lead quiet. I'm tipping out the room. Okay, listen, it's a lot. Y'all take care. God bless.
Thank you. God bless you both.
Hold on, Miss Anita.
Okay.